Well, welcome to this week's edition of Hawk Talk. I'm Seth Morkirky.
I'm Susanna Moberg.
And we have a guest on the show who's from California, so we're going to let you introduce yourself, where you're from, and what you do here at DSU.
I'm Daniel Moreno. I'm from Los Angeles, California, and I play football here at Dickinson State University.
Yeah, so the football season, the regular season is over. Let's recap it a little bit. We were in 8-2. 2 losses to Rocky and Waldorf, some hard-fought games. We had plenty of big wins, too. So how did the season go, in your opinion?
Other than the 2 losses, I think they went well. We really didn't have a bye week within those 10 weeks, so that kind of hurt us. We were hurt half the season. I feel like that was a big downfall for us.
Yeah.
But other than that, I think the football season went great. I mean, 8-2, making playoffs, can't complain.
That's right. You know, you were a big part of the defense last year, really solidifying your name, and this year especially, you showed up and made a name for yourself on defense. I think consistently having 10 or 11 tackle games, being that defensive threat. What did you do in the offseason to kind of prepare to step into that role as more of the defensive guy who has to make plays all the time?
I mean, my mindset on the offseason was, you know, I'm a senior. I got to step up. I need to show these younger kids I need to lead by example, pretty much, and that's what I did. It was more mental things for me. I was working out during the off season, but I wasn't really pushing myself. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but it was more mental for me.
Yeah, that's good. You know, and you mentioned you're a quiet guy and a quiet leader, but you've had to kind of step into a role of being more vocal, especially as that middle linebacker, kind of the quarterback of the defense, as some say. So what kind of things have you done to be that more of a vocal leader on this team?
You know, just try to communicate with other guys, do this, do that. Being, like you said, being in the middle linebacker, you have to communicate, and that's what makes us run who we are and who the defense is. Right. And
Yeah. You guys had senior night this last weekend. What was that like for you to play at the BAC for the last time?
Oh, it was a great feeling. Played in front of my parents, my brother. They came down, and it was a good feeling just to play one last time in front of the BAC. So
yeah,
really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Cool. We talked a little bit about this, or you mentioned it in one of your earlier answers, but what is it like? You know, you've got young guys stepping up into these leadership roles. What's it like for you to be there encouraging them and mentoring them in those roles?
I mean, it's truly the best thing, just seeing them growing up to what they can be. Because I mean, this Dickinson State team is really good, and it's only the beginning of a legacy. So I'm really excited to see what they become.
Yeah, well, we captured our 4th straight conference championship. Plenty more in the future, like you talked about. You've been a part of 2 of those. So what has that been like to be part of such a high caliber team and such a conference winning team?
Oh, it's a great feeling. Coming from a losing team half my life, from junior All-American to high school, I've been a losing team my whole life, and coming to Dickinson State, boy, it's a good feeling.
It's a
good feeling. So I mean, hopefully we can make a run in the playoffs and just change some things, you know.
Yeah. And you mentioned you're from Los Angeles, from California. The weather is a lot different than it is here. We've started to see snow coming down. We've had some practices where I did not want to be out there because it was rough. But talk about how you've adjusted to the weather and to the different environments you've had to play in all across your career, but especially here playing at DSU.
I mean, it is definitely hard to get used to this weather out here, and I guess it's just really a mindset. It's just, I don't know, it's kind of,
Just got to do it.
Just got to do it, exactly.
That's right.
Yeah.
You guys are currently ranked 16th in the nation, and you're waiting to hear where you go for your playoff game. What's that like for you to stay prepared to go play anywhere, play any team?
You know, you just got to stay prepared. We got to be ready for what's coming. We're ready to take on whoever, and just anyone, we're bringing it.
Yeah. And looking back on your football career, are there any moments that have really stood out to you as you look back on your career as a whole?
I mean, I have a lot of memories in high school and in junior All-American when I was younger, but I'd say definitely the one that stood out to me the most was when I played our homecoming game here in front of the alumni and all of there was a big crowd. So, and just to be able to show everyone what I'm capable of was glad I was able to do that in front of that crowd.
You had a really good game that game.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank
I
you.
remember that. Last question here. We've been asking everybody this because it is our centennial year, the 100th year of DSU. What does DSU mean to you?
I mean, DSU is a big part of me. They've expanded my experiences so much. I've had different chances to do different things and experience new life. It's been a great 2 years so far. So I really like it out here, and DSU is a good school.
Yeah.
So.
Well, Danny, it's been great to have you on.
Thank
you
you
for coming on.
Thank you, guys.
And we'll be right back after this talking with another athlete.
Life is full of many successes, achievements, stages. Every year we grow, things change, and pretty soon we realize we want and need to do more. When you're ready for that next step, Dickinson State University will get you there. Find out how at dsublue.com.
Well, welcome back to Hawk Talk. We have another guest who's from California, so go ahead and introduce yourself, where you're from, and what you do here at DSU.
All right, my name is Austin Payne. I'm from Elk Grove, California, and I play basketball here at DSU.
So you transitioned from Cali to Nebraska, I believe, for junior college, and then you came here. So talk about that journey from a couple different cultures, a couple different climates, and now being here at DSU.
Well, when I first came from California to Nebraska, it was so different. Like, when I'm telling you it was cold, I was freezing every day. I didn't know what to do. And then I figured out like long johns and gloves and hats and things like that, so it definitely helped.
There you go.
So transitioning from Nebraska to here wasn't that much different because of like similar climate.
Yeah.
But other than that, I would just say it's a lot smaller, knit communities, a lot more support from the locals. So I really appreciate that a lot coming to a place like North Dakota.
Yeah, that's great. Well, you're only one of 3 guys who are returning from the team last year. Had a lot of seniors last year who graduated. Talk about what it means to kind of keep that culture from last year, but also embrace some of these new guys and talk about the things you guys have done to do that.
Well, last year was kind of a weird situation because Coach Vaughn came in,
Right.
I believe, like a couple weeks before our first game. So he just kind of came in with the mindset of, I'm just going to coach these guys to the best of my ability. But this year it's a little bit different. It's a new culture, I'd say.
Yeah.
A new coaching style,
Cool.
new program,
Yeah.
new players. So
Yeah.
For sure.
it's a lot different this year than last year.
Yeah. So one of 3 returning, you're also one of only 3 seniors. So you're already a leader on the team. Can you talk about what this leadership role means as one of 3 seniors?
I would say just lead by example. A lot of guys coming in don't know what to expect from coach. And just talking to guys, keeping their confidence up, just leading by example.
Last year, your role on the team was mainly a defensive threat. You got some long arms. You can steal balls. I've seen you dunk it a couple times. You're stepping into more of an offensive role. Last year, you had a lot of shooters, a lot of guys who were driving. I'm not saying you couldn't score last year, but it just wasn't really your role. And now you're stepping into that role. What things did you do kind of in the offseason now as the season has started to solidify that spot?
Honestly, like Daniel said, it's just a mindset,
Yeah.
just a mindset switch.
Yeah.
Because I've been playing basketball my whole life, so I know how to score. But like you said, last year I was just trying to help the team out the best
Yeah.
of my ability,
Right.
get on the floor. So this year is definitely a lot different. So just a mindset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
And looking back at your season so far, you guys opened with a win, and then you went to Minot at Forebears. Can you talk about those experiences so soon at the beginning of your season?
So the first game was against Mount Marty. There was like a lot of pregame jitters for the majority of the team.
Yeah.
A first college competition for some of the guys as well. So I would say just getting out there and getting a win was a great experience for us. And it was our coach, Coach Moore. We have a new assistant coach this year. It's his first college win.
Yeah.
A lot of guys on the team's first win, so it was a cool experience.
Yeah.
And at Forebears Casino, Minot State, it's a bit of a better team than Mount Marty.
Yeah.
So we took a hard loss, but bounced back. We play them again,
Yeah.
I believe, in a week or so. So
Yeah. Well, that Forebears experience, I'm sure that was cool kind of to play in
Yeah.
the casino. We were talking about that, what that would mean. But you guys also traveled out to Montana. Long trip out there, but you played some frontier schools, which I think is always a good chance for us to really play some tough competition, to play some tough teams, and you'll get to play a few more frontier teams here in the future. But talk about those 2 games. You played Carroll, you played Tech, and played Sailor Shakootenai. Talk about those 3 games, I should say.
We definitely found our weaknesses in those games, some things we need to improve on. We found things that we're good at as well. So it's just taking what we learned from those games and applying it this week at practice to get ready for this week's game.
Yeah.
So obviously this is a new group of guys, and you've probably been together since you got back from summer vacation. So what are some things that you guys do outside of basketball to kind of grow together as a group?
We watch movies together on Netflix,
There you go.
eat pizza, just watch games, watch basketball games, watch football games, just getting to know each other better.
Yeah.
Like one of the main focuses when we first all got here was just to hang out,
Yeah.
and not like a team or like with the coach there, because you know those settings are kind of more awkward.
Yeah.
So just invite people to places, just get to know each other better.
Yeah. Well, looking ahead at your schedule the next couple of weeks, you guys are going to play Minnesota Moorhead, which is a D2 school, I believe, another exhibition game, and then you play in Minot again at Minot. And then you finally get to have some home games. You're playing, I think you're playing Presentation, you're playing Northern, and then we get to host the Thanksgiving tournament, which I don't think you guys hosted that last year, but in the past we've had a big Thanksgiving basketball tournament. So talking about these next couple weeks, these next 5 games, how important they're going to be for the schedule. They're all pretty much exhibition or non-conference, but they're still important for you guys as a team.
Right, definitely. I'm excited for the home games because we've had a long stretch, and we're going to have, a couple more weeks before we have that first home game. So I'm definitely excited for that. These 5 games, though, are very important because, like I said, we have a lot of things that we can improve on.
Right.
And these 5 games, we can work on those things.
Right.
So,
Yeah, that's good.
yeah.
Senior year, looking ahead to that, do you have plans after college to continue playing, or what are your plans when you're done here?
Potentially. I've thought about going overseas and playing, or maybe coming back here and being a grad assistant.
Yeah.
Or, not grad assistant, but just coach for 1 year.
Yeah.
So I don't really know yet, though. Or I might travel a little bit.
Yeah.
Stuff
Take
in
some
the
pictures,
air.
Right?
Yeah.
It's a good photographer.
Thank you.
Last question here, like we asked Danny, since it's our centennial year, the 100th year of DSU, what does DSU mean to you?
DSU is a beautiful place. After junior college, I wasn't planning on playing basketball anymore. I was kind of over it, and Coach Wetzel was the coach at the time. He recruited me to play, and I decided to take a chance and come play here, and I'm very happy with my decision.
Yeah. Well, we're happy you're here.
Yeah.
We're thankful that you came on the show.
Thank you. Thank you
Hopefully
for
we'll
having
have
me.
you on later on this season, but if not, man, it's been great to have you. And we'll be right back after this with another athlete from DSU. Well, welcome back to Hawk Talk. We have a guest who's a little bit closer than California, whose home is a little bit closer than California, I should say. Go ahead and introduce yourself, where you're from, and what you do here at DSU.
My name's Jenna Swope. I'm from Miles City, Montana, and I play volleyball for Dickinson State.
Yeah, Miles City, not too far down the road. How did you make the decision to come from Miles City to DSU?
I'd say a big part of my decision was Coach Hartman. She's also from Miles City, and so we had that connection between each other, and I think she's just a really genuine person, and I was happy to sign with her program.
Yeah. Jenna, I have to tell you, you are incredibly fun to watch. I think this past year I've just enjoyed watching you, watching your energy, watching the way you play. But I have a question. Have you always been that energetic on the field? And if so, or if not, where did that start?
I think in high school we weren't so much about energy, but now that I've come to Dickinson, our program is huge on body language, energy, social cues like that. And so I'm trying to do my part for the team on the court and fake it till you make it. I mean,
right.
even if, just to do anything to help out the team and bring the team up.
Yeah.
So.
That's cool. Well, volleyball is such a mental sport, as I've learned over the past year, even mental for the people watching, because I get so exhausted and tired watching. But I have a question. How do you overcome, such some losses, whether it's losing a point and coming back from that, losing a set, or even losing a game and having to transition? How do you overcome those things as a volleyball player and as a team?
When you play volleyball, you figure out that you get so invested in one set, and then once that set's over, you just have to refresh your mind because you still have a whole game left. I mean, you can go in and win 2 sets, and then the other team can rally back and get a set. So you really have to be mentally tough.
Yeah. So you took a redshirt year, your freshman year. How much did that year help you?
I think it was crucial in my success this year because having that redshirt year gives you time to adjust to the changes, and I think it gave me time to work on my mentality and how to work hard, come to practice with a positive attitude, and just get better every day.
Yeah, well, Kenzie and Allie are the other defensive specialists, and they are continuing to lead the team in digs, but you're not far behind them. You have 85 on the season. So talk about some of the things that you've learned from both of them individually in their play and in their leadership and their personalities.
Mackenzie is awesome at shaking off mistakes. She can have a faulty play or whatever and then just put a smile on her face and act like it didn't happen, which is huge in volleyball. And Allie's huge in helping her team. If you come off the court and you ask, like, Allie, you got anything for me? She'll give you input and advice, and I think that's awesome as a senior. So I really appreciate them, and I'm happy for the opportunity to compete with them.
You guys are 6th in the conference, and you're heading to Wisconsin this weekend for your conference meet. You're playing Dakota State, Seth's favorite team. How is the team feeling heading into that game?
I think we're confident. Last time we played Dakota State, our block was huge, and their hitters got flustered and things like that. So I think we know what we're coming into, and we'll be prepared, and I'm excited. It'll be fun.
Well, we've taken plenty of games into 5 sets. As I was mentioning, it's exhausting to watch, but I'm sure it's exhausting to play those 5 sets and to continue to come back. But we've lost some of those close games. So looking ahead, whether it's going to be a couple more games this weekend and looking into the future, how do we come out on top of those 5-set games, or even just win in 3?
Right. When we get into the huddle before those 5th sets, we try to focus on going point by point, and you don't want to look too far ahead, so you want to be first to 5, and then first to 8, and then first to 10. So just take it slow, step by step, and try and come out on top. It's really important to start out strong. But
that's good.
We're losing a few seniors on the team this year. So Allie's a senior, I believe Mackenzie's a senior. What kind of things are you going to take away from those players, their personality, skill set, and how do you plan to kind of step into and fill those leadership roles?
Kylie is a huge leader on the court. When we have intense times during the game, she's our go-to player. She can put the ball down, so I think that's a really good quality. And Mackenzie is very positive. Like I said, easily shakes off mistakes. She brings her teammates up, which is awesome. And Allie is also very good at advice on and off the court. I think she has a lot of the players' backs, and so I think all of them are very genuine, and all of them are very driven on the court. And so you can take qualities from each one of them.
That's good.
We've been asking everyone this question this year. It's our centennial year. So, what does DSU mean to you?
When I signed with DSU, everyone kept preaching Dickinson is a family, like the whole campus and things like that. And I agree with that. I think that's really influenced me. The community, meeting a ton of genuine people that are just kind and supportive and things like that. So I think signing with Dickinson and competing and being here really just gives you that like push. Like everyone's got your back.
It's very true. I like that. Well, Jenna, your first time on the show. I'm sure it's not going to be your last. We're looking forward to the next couple of years, what you're going to do, and we're especially looking forward to this next weekend. So thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thank you.
And we'll be right back recapping this past week and looking ahead to the next conference championships, hopefully, right after this.
Welcome back to Hawk Talk. We are here to recap some of the things that happened this past weekend and look ahead to some exciting things that are coming the week to come. So, Cowboys and Candlelight event happened this weekend for the rodeo team. And I didn't go to the event itself, but I went to the dance, and it was really fun, really cool environment. And definitely helped that they were in Sisseton this past week, and the women took second, and the men took third. So overall, rodeo was having a pretty great weekend this weekend.
It was good to see them kind of have some success as their last rodeo before they head into a break in the winter. I don't know if they ride during the winter. Who knows if they do? They ride inside.
Take care of their horses.
Take care of their horses. But we'll look forward to seeing some stuff in the spring with that. And then women's basketball and men's basketball, they both went to that Montana Tech tournament. We talked to Austin earlier. Women's basketball, they had a loss to Tech, and then they beat, the College of St. Joseph, and they beat Salish Kootenai. Had some big wins there to kind of start off not very well, and then they came out on top. Was really great. Then they play November 20th versus Northern. That is a home game, and the men will also be playing then as well. Talked with Austin a little bit. Had two losses that were pretty close against some tough teams. Played Carroll and we played Tech. And those teams are both probably going to do pretty well in the Frontier, and so it's cool to see us performing well. And like he said, they learned some things that they needed to fix, and so that's cool. And looking ahead, like we talked about, they have 2 Division II games to play, and that's always a challenge. You know, we're NAI, and playing up is a challenge, but it's good for us. And then we're playing in the Thanksgiving tournament, which I'm excited to see come back. I don't think we had it last year. And so
can you explain, what is the Thanksgiving
So it
tournament?
happens over Thanksgiving, and we play teams from the Frontier again. We usually get to play Rocky, which is, I love. My brother played basketball at Rocky, so I love getting to watch us play Rocky because I know some of those guys still. And that was actually the first time I watched DSU play, was because my brother played here and I came to watch him.
Wow.
And then I came to college here. So
cool.
what a cool experience.
Yeah. Well, we had Jenna on, volleyball player on, and they lost to Mayville, and they lost to they won presentation. And so now they are 6th in the conference, heading this weekend to Wisconsin to play, as we mentioned before, your favorite team in the world, Dakota State. But I think that'll be a really good game. I think they've all got a great mentality going into the game. They're ready. You know, it's a trip, but I think they're ready. Yeah,
they had a split with them in the regular season, lost to them here, beat them there. Beat Dakota State there, and so it's cool to see. Like, we have a 1-game advantage, you know, in the 1-game streak, I should say, against them, and so. Yeah, these girls have a great mentality, like you talked about. They're ready to go play. Taking it 1 game at a time, but I'm excited because we get to probably play Bellevue after that, after we win, because I know we're going to win.
Of course.
And we're excited to see that.
You heard it here first.
You heard it here first. Looking at cross country, they had their conference meets this past weekend. The men, unfortunately, did not get their 4th conference championship in a row, but they did take 2nd. And Rodney Henry, I think he took 3rd. He took 5th, and Tristan took 10th. And so those 2 gentlemen will represent the Blue Hawks at the national cross country meet. And then the women, they did capture their 4th conference championship in a row. And we're excited. So the team will represent, but also some of the ladies. I'll just read it off. J.C. Wilson took 3rd. Emily Keene, we have her on at the very beginning of the year. She took 4th. Lisa Townsend took 5th. Peyton Herbst, we just had her on. She took 8th. And Julia Falcone took 10th. And so we have 5 girls in the top 10. And that's really incredible. And we're excited to see November 16th in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, is the national cross country meet. And we're just excited to see how the women's team, the women's individual, and the men's individual duel will do there. Just excited for it.
Yeah. Well, speaking of 4th straight consecutive conference championship, you guys beat Dakota State this weekend and took home your 4th straight
that's right.
North Star Conference Championship. You guys are currently on a bye week, correct? You're waiting for your playoff bid.
For it,
and we had a player of the week, which is pretty cool.
We finally had a player of the week.
So Hayden Gibson.
Hayden Gibson was the offensive player of the week for the North Star. I think they probably watched our last clip. They watched our last episode, and they said, "Well, we better do it because we've been unfair to the Blue Hawks." And so Hayden Gibson, I thought Danny right away. I thought during that game, I was like, if they don't give Danny this player of the week, I'm going to lose it on him. But the player of the week was from Valley City, and he had like 11 tackles and 2 picks. And so I was like, okay,
all right,
that's
approved. That one will be fine.
Probably fair. But again, it was so amazing to capture the 4th conference championship in front of fans, in front of at home. And to go 20-0 at home as seniors, that was kind of a big thing for us. We haven't lost a game at the BAC. That was just a really cool experience. And like you said, we're waiting to see who we play. We'll find out on Sunday who we're playing in the the playoffs. Could be rocky, could be
Yeah, I've heard
teams from
a
Iowa.
lot
I
of
want to play
people say
Rocky
they thought Rocky. But
because we lost them earlier, and I think
Yeah.
I think it'd be
Come
fun to come back and beat them,
Yeah.
and really show the world who we are. But again, we'll play anybody, anywhere, and we're just excited. We're taking it day by day in this bye week, and then next week we're going to take it day by day in the playoff week. So looking forward to it. We have some big conference championship stuff happening this weekend with volleyball, basketball. We'll have a couple games as well. So if you want to find out some scores, want to find out some live video, I believe the conference championship should be. You can find that at dsubluehawks.com. And we'll be back next week looking at some more sports, looking at some more stuff. But yeah, we'll be back then. Until then, Hawks are up.